Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with another layout I got done at the crop back in October. And this one here is one that I'm going to use a sketch. And you can see the sketch there off to the side. And that is a sketch that I did for my patrons over on Patreon. If you're interested, I have 3 levels, which is bronze, silver, and gold. And the great thing is I've been doing this for almost 2 full years. Like January 1st, it'll be like the 3rd year that I'll be starting. So when you join, you get to see all the videos. And then the first year I did a 52-week challenge. This last year we did tools and techniques. So one week we did tools, the other week we did techniques. And then every Thursday is a sketch. Now with gold members, they get 2 sketches and 2 versions each. So if you want to check that out, just go to the link in my description box below and you'll get hundreds of videos plus hundreds of digital files. So I love sketches for this because I just kind of took the sketch and I started cutting everything down to the size that I needed. And then all you need to do is start putting them together. And this was the perfect kit for a sketch because it was all scraps. So I'm going to end up inking the edges of everything. And usually when I ink with a black, it's more hickory smoke because I find that black is very bold. So I like to use hickory smoke and it just, is a nice light gray. I'm using 2 4x4 photos. And if you remember the sketch, it was 2 4x6 photos. And that's the great thing about sketches. Just, you know, tweak the sketch a little bit to make it so that it's your own. And I didn't have 4x6 photos. I had 4x4 photos. So I ended up using those. Now, once everything is glued down, I can already start, trying to figure out what embellishments I'm going to use. And I'm using some of our viewfinders. And the original viewfinders were like all one color. And then we came up with a second round of viewfinders. And we call them the inverted viewfinders because, like for this one here with the black and white, that's what the true viewfinders look like, right? They're white and then they have like black outlines. And we did that with all of our colors. And I absolutely love those viewfinders. I just keep forgetting to use them. And of course, I use the 1.5-inch circles because I really like to overlay the 2-inch viewfinders with a 1.5-inch circle. And I forgot to mention, but this is layout number 6 out of 26 that I got completed at that crop. Plus, it took me 33 minutes to complete, so not shabby at all, really quick. And another thing that I really love going to these crops and, getting a whole bunch of pages done is before I go, I make sure that I have my titles on some wax paper and that I have my journaling all done. So when I came home after that weekend, all 26 pages have a title on it and it also has some journaling. So the only thing I have left to do for those 26 layouts is literally put them in an album. And another thing I did was I'm pretty sure that all the pages I got done was from our trip last summer in Vancouver, well, across Canada, but this was in Vancouver. And so I literally have to just grab an album that I'm going to put all my trip pictures in, and I'm just going to put them in there. Now, another thing I want to do for all these pages is I want to make sure that I write down what day number it was. And the reason for that is because our trip was 44 days long, and I want to make sure that I put the layouts in the order of the days. Now, this was, if you don't know, if you're new here, welcome. But if you don't know, I live on the East Coast. Not the most East Coast that I can be in Canada, but almost. So what we did was we took pictures of us on the East Coast near the water. And then when we got to Vancouver, we went the most west that we could, um, on the beach, and we took pictures there, which was pretty cool. So we have, I even did a page for over on Patreon as the title page, and it says East Coast to West Coast, and I did like the whole map of Canada. It's a really cool page, and kind of our little road. And I'm going to print some of those photos in a smaller, like maybe 2 by 2, one from East Coast and one from West Coast, and I'm going to put it on that title page too. But I plan on, making bigger layouts with those pictures too. Now, I don't know if I've ever mentioned that on YouTube, but I took over 4,000 pictures. I think it's like 4,500 pictures. And when you take into account that we were gone for 44 days, that means it's about 100 pictures a day. And to me, that's reasonable. That gives me lots of choices. I have pictures of everything that we did every day. Like there's not one day that I didn't take any pictures. So that is awesome. I like that because I don't think I would have liked if there's one day that I'd be like, I don't have any pictures. Now, I took about 4,500 pictures. My husband took maybe 500 to 1,000. And then my mom probably took about that 500 to 1,000. And her husband took about 500 to 1,000. Now, I don't have their pictures yet, but I know that I'll get their pictures, eventually at Christmas time. I'm going to bring a USB, and I'm going to put the pictures on there, so then I'll have them, and I'll make sure to print those out. So one thing I do is I always put the month and the year that I create the layout, and for whatever I created that layout for, whether it's a class, whether it's for Patreon, whether it's for a virtual crop, or in this case, it was a weekend away. So I just like to know later on, why I created these layouts. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is, like I said, the journaling's already done. So all I have to do is copy it down, because the worst thing for me is when there's so much going on, I can't formulate words. So if it's already there, written down for me, and all I have to do is copy it, it works so much better. And while I'm finishing that off, I just want to remind you that this Thursday and every Thursday I go live on YouTube, and this Thursday is going to be at 9 o'clock in the morning. It'll probably be for 3 hours because we're going to be working on our December daily. If you want to go back and watch, I did 3 hours last Thursday. We did 5 December daily pages, and I plan to do at least this much this week. But that's it. That's the end of this layout, and I want to thank you so much for watching. Bye.